Oh, thank you.
You're right.
So, right, I'm going to start with today. The first story is about the time traveller from he claims, right? He claims he's from 8973. And he speaks out on the National Lottery. I think we've got a picture. We'll have a look at this guy.
Okay, let's have a look.
So he's a self-proclaimed time traveller, and he says that he's revealed all about his experience in the future. And when he was asked whether or not he found out about the lottery results, he said that he didn't have the technology in order to predict those.
Right.
So he claims that he's been travelling in the future, but didn't have the technology to predict.
Does he have
What
a
was
TARDIS
going
as well?
I don't know. Have we got? Is there a picture of him?
It's weird.
Because I think you need to see this guy. So William Taylor claims to. There he is. There he is.
Oh,
so
there we go.
William Taylor claims to have been to the year 8973 as part of a top secret experiment. The man previously revealed he had spent some time in the future when he experienced several bizarre situations. Followers of his journey have now asked that some questions of him included whether or not he could predict the lottery numbers or not. He said, "I thought about trying to get the Mega Million lottery numbers for this week, but as soon as I got there, I was completely bewildered after travelling more than 6,000 years into the future. I was completely out of my comfort zone, and at that point in your own personal gain does not pop into your head."
Yeah, sounds about right, I suppose.
So this is the thing that got me, is because he travels that far into the future.
Yeah.
The first thing you would do is find out what is going on. Like, you want to find out what the lottery results were and then go back in time and
You'd want to see
win
all
the
the
lottery,
new
wouldn't you?
technology and everything.
Exactly. So he's got so lost in his head that he doesn't really know what's going on. We just want to say the video was uploaded to a YouTube channel, Apex TV, where it caused controversy among viewers as well, so you can watch it there. Okay. But he's also said, if I would have asked for lottery numbers for a random week in 2018, I don't think they'd have been able to give them, which I think is quite a poor excuse, to be honest, when it comes to asking for lottery numbers.
With the internet, you can just
Exactly,
Google
and
anything in the
if
future.
millions and millions of pounds were up for grabs, then you would
really
want to
try.
ask, wouldn't you?
In a heartbeat, I'd go for it.
In a heartbeat. So I think the next one, some weird things went on this week when it comes to a man who owns over 100 pets, right? So he's 19 years old. He owns over 100 pets. We've got a picture of him here with his. It looks like a Komodo dragon, I think, or some sort of massive lizard. His name is Thomas Pasiesnik. Sorry, that was a bit of a weird.
It's a bit, yes.
Better known as Thomas Passy. He's owned more than 100 different types of animals. He's a YouTuber that lives in New Jersey as well. He's American, which explains a lot. Most of his pets are exotic or extremely rare as well. So there he is with his.
He looks so young.
He's only 19. With his massive Komodo dragon
pretty
there,
cool lizard,
or
to be
lizard.
fair.
It is, yeah. So his collection, right, is filled with many exotic animals, quite a lot of reptiles as well. So spiders, snakes, scorpions, lizards, millipedes, and of course a couple of dogs as well. You've got to throw some regular pets in there.
Obviously.
But feeding all of these animals alone is a monumental task. Like, he goes on to say how much money he has to spend on it. It's literally like having your own zoo. Yeah. So he talks about how he has to spend so much money feeding all these animals and how they've got a serious like eating regime and that sort of thing. But because of the special requirements and the potential dangers that his pets present, he said that he's had to become an animal expert as well. So he's researched these animals, he's found out everything there is to know about them, and it is kind of like a Steve Irwin-esque type guy.
Komodo dragons poisonous? I'm pretty sure they are.
I don't. Are they?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they are.
We'll find out. We'll ask. So
I wouldn't
we'll
want
ask
to be
someone in the
locked in a
gallery.
r-
Can we find out if Komodo dragons are poisonous?
I wouldn't want to be
we'll
locked
let
in
you
a room
know.
with one of them, I could tell you that much.
No, exactly.
I'm sure
They do
someone
look.
died from a bite off
Oh.
one.
I'll admire from a distance.
Yeah, literally admire them. I'll keep them further than arm's length. But he says whether it's getting scratched by an Argentine black or a white tegu or sprayed with acid is just another day of pet care for him. So I can imagine a lot that goes on. He's got like what's called a Vietnamese centipede, which is massive. It's huge. We don't actually have a picture of that.
Okay.
And then things like tarantulas as well. I don't even want to look at a picture of tarantulas.
No, thank you.
But there's also something called a tailless whip scorpion as well, which is I think I have got a picture of that. Am I going into 3? Can you see that there?
Wow.
Whoa.
Look at that for a scorpion. Isn't that just
That's
disgusting?
creepy.
It's grim,
Well,
isn't
that's
it?
me not sleeping tonight.
I know, it is grim. But he is quoted to have said that he hopes that people realise that my animals aren't as bad as the mainstream media makes them out to be. I want people to love all animals, not just the furry ones. So I think that is quite cute, isn't it?
I mean, if you can have the space and you can afford it.
Yeah, exactly. But he's only 19 as well. So would you two ever consider having exotic pets? Or would you just go with the classic furry dog?
And it bit me and I got rid of it.
I think my annoying cat is enough.
Yeah, to be honest, I had a boyfriend that did that once and I got rid of him straight away. All right, so moving on to the next story. So a scientist stabbed a colleague who kept telling him the endings of books that he was reading. Let's have a look at a picture of this guy, because there he is.
Wait,
this is the gentleman
that stabbed someone or the person who got stabbed?
So, yes, this is the gentleman who stabbed his colleague for telling him the ending of books. Now, to be honest, it is very annoying when someone tells you like the end of a movie or spoils like something for you, because you waited for ages for it. Like, it's happened to me loads of times and you feel so angry by it. But I've never been that angry to pick up a knife and want to stab someone.
I think it's a bit far.
It's a
Yeah.
well. So Sergey is 55, and his friend was called Oleg, who's 52. They'd often spend hours reading, and then they'd compare books and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But it then started as a joke. His friend would then start spoiling the endings for him. And according to reports, he told Russian investigators that he saw red and attacked his friend with a kitchen knife when he once again ruined the ending.
Oh no.
I know. So his colleague he's still in intensive care.
Okay.
He's not. He's being treated for a stab wound to the heart, but he is right where it hurts. But he hasn't died. He was flown to the hospital in Chile from the remote research centre where the pair worked, but his life is not said to be in danger. I kind of want to find out what the book was.
How many books?
Yeah. So I wondered.
How many books would it take you to?
I don't know.
Or movies.
Exactly.
To stab someone?
Exactly.
I suppose kind of the question is like, what was the one book? What was the most important book that actually sort of made him think, right, that's it.
Exactly.
Can't go for it.
Exactly. To be honest, if someone, I'm not a massive book reader myself, but I feel like if someone, I was waiting for ages for, you know, the James Bond movie Skyfall when that came out. And I was like, I didn't get to see it for ages and ages and ages. And then the day that I was going to see it, my friend turned to me and said, all right, spoiler alert, if you still haven't seen it, but it was out like 5 years ago, so you should have seen it by now. But he said, oh, wasn't it sad when M died? I was like...
You're like, yes, it was dreadful.
It's sad now that I know. So yeah, I don't know what book he would have to have been so sad about to stab his friend.
He should have started reading books that his friend was going to read and ruin him for them.
Exactly, that's a better way of getting him back.
Yeah,
instead of stabbing him
the more
in
normal
the
way
chest.
of getting back at someone, I think.
Exactly, and so moving on to the final one now. This is the weirdest one.
Okay.
So this is a woman who has revealed the secret to earning almost £100,000 a year by selling her smelly socks to foot fetishists.
Oh.
Right, here you go, here's a picture.
I have a...
Look at that. Oh my goodness.
How exactly...
Keeping people like anonymous.
Yeah.
There was someone in like this
goodness,
uni
if
who
you got a weird
offered to
story.
buy my socks.
Oh, for goodness sake. Goodness sake. Can we see that picture again? But he, her name is Roxy Sykes. She's 33. There's something about that toe. It's just a little bit odd. Do you know what I mean? Like the second one in, it's a little bit
bent.
Yeah, it's a little bit like that, isn't it?
Oh goodness, I think we're looking at
a little bit too deep into this.
Yeah.
But yeah, she earns £100,000 a year from this.
I have that amount of money taken away from me
every
year.
year, exactly. That could literally pay off my student debt 3 times over.
Yeah.
So she was a property investor, and then she decided to set up an Instagram page and just see what happened. She ended up getting 10,000 followers in a month. 10,000 followers in 1 month. And then she decided to listen to her fans, in quotation marks. Here's another picture of her here. She sells used trainers and socks. I'll put that on 3. She sells used trainers and socks. You seen that in there?
getting it.
You get it?
There we go.
There she is. That's a picture of her with her feet.
I'm fetching.
That's
Interested? Are you interested, Will? Should I give you her Instagram?
No.
Fund her career?
I think there's somebody who would not want
do you
me to
sell
do
your
that.
socks for that much money?
I
think I
would not. But how much do you think she sells a pair of socks for? Ballpark.
1,000?
I'm
No,
not
maybe
very
like
good with
500.
figures. Just like a single pair of socks.
A single pair of socks.
I don't know, like 500, 600.
So
Is it
this is weird, which is quite startling because it shows you just how many she's selling. So she sells £20 for a pair of socks and £200 for a pair of used shoes.
Consider me startled.
She's selling
So,
them every single day. Isn't
Yeah, so that is a lot. Like to be earning £100,000 a year, she must be selling a lot. Oh wait, let me work that out.
I think we
So
found a way to
that's-
pay off our student loans.
Literally, so that's 100,000 divided by 20. So she's selling 5,000 pairs of socks a year
Good.
in order to make
So
£100,000.
how many is that a day? Good luck with the math.
Divided by 365, that's 13 pairs of socks a day,
That's impossible.
allegedly.
Oh, wait, right.
Which is mad, absolutely mad. But she claims she's been earning £8,000 in a busy month. That's what she claims, but this is what it's not quite adding up at the moment. So, but she's quoted to have said, after being told by a colleague that I had beautiful feet, I was convinced to set up a social media account to show them off, but it wasn't until I started getting thousands of followers and messages about selling used items that I realised I could profit from it.
This is all pretty good, but I think, wasn't there something in the news recently about sort of like a man dressing up as Dumbledore or something, or a woman dressing up as Dumbledore?
Yes, a woman dressing up as Dumbledore, yes. So that is, let's have a look at this woman actually. So she bought
see this.
a wig that essentially, there she is. She bought a wig that
Yeah.
essentially resembled looking like Dumbledore. And she does actually look a lot like Dumbledore as well, which I think
I
is...
think she looks pretty good at it.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty good wig,
She
to be
rocks
honest.
it.
I like
Well, we
it.
should probably get a side-by-side comparison just to check on
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, she does. I see the resemblance. I do see the resemblance. Final story. There's a 69-year-old who self-identifies as being 20 years old. He's trying to legally change his age to improve his luck with women on Tinder.
Right.
He's a 69-year-old pensioner who said that he has the body of a 45-year-old and is taking action to legally change his age to improve his job prospects and luck with women on Tinder as well. He also compared himself to the fact that he argues if transgender people are legally allowed to change their sex, then he should be allowed to change his age. Which is interesting.
That's more
Controversial to say the
I'm
least.
not gonna
Yeah, possibly have another debate on that. Do you have a
Yeah.
photo of this man or anything?
We
or is it
do have a
just,
photo of this gentleman. This was from Sky News today. I'll get that on down there. It's interesting because there he is.
There he is.
69-year-old self-identifies as 20 years younger. I wish I could identify as being 5 years younger than I was, but that's not really how that works. I would just suggest Botox or a facelift or something like that because it's a more hassle-free way of just identifying as being younger. But I don't think it's quite fair. I think he's going to cause a lot of backlash.
It's catfishing people.
It is. I think it's going to cause a lot of backlash, especially from the trans community, saying that they can legally change their gender, but he wants to legally change his age.
Yeah, I
It's kind of mocking
suppose
them a
that
little bit.
statement can kind of cause a bit of a stir.
Exactly, yeah. So that is your roundup of odd news this week.
Thank you.
Nothing else weird or startling? Just all
Have
that
you
Do you know,
heard
I-
anything random?
Do you know what? I'm sure there probably is. But I saw that story this morning actually. But to be honest, that's literally all I saw from today. So that's your odd news roundup for this
All
week.
right. Well, thank you for coming in and
No
sharing
worries.
those
Thank you very much for having me.
certainly weird stories with us.
Yeah. Loved them all unique.
All right, so we all know the age-long debate about the correct time to put up the Christmas decorations in the house. Isn't that right, Jade?
Yes, indeed, and so does James Holt. Hopefully he can shed some light on whether or not it is too early to celebrate the arrival of everyone's favourite jolly bearded man. And it's not Dumbledore.
Although he is jolly and bearded, yeah.
I'm here in chilly Manchester amongst preparations for the Christmas markets. Everyone seems to be getting in the Christmas spirit, but it feels as if Halloween's only just finished. Is it too early to be putting Christmas decorations up? Let's go and find out and see what people think. Many shops around the city have had displays of outfits and Christmas decorations up since the last week of October. I went out onto the street and asked what people thought. So do you think it's too early for Christmas decorations to go up?
Too early for Christmas decorations.
So you're a big fan of Christmas?
Love it.
And when do you put your decorations up at home?
They're still up now from last year.
You haven't taken them down?
No, I'm joking.
I put mine on about a month before.
A month before? And why do you think that they go up so early in cities like this?
Oh, why? I think it's the spirit in it, the spirit of Christmas, you know. So,
Yeah.
and it's more for kids now, you know, like so. But to the adults don't really celebrate it, but the kids do, don't they?
But it seems that not everyone I asked had the same opinion.
Yeah, definitely too early. I swear they put them up like way before Halloween had actually ended. It was ridiculous.
And when do you put your Christmas decorations up at home?
I normally put them up a week after my birthday because I need to take all the birthday cards down, get in the festive mood after that.
And why do you think cities like Manchester have the decorations up so early in the year?
I think it's because they want people to get in the Christmassy mood when they're going shopping and things like that, and because it is very Christmassy when you're trying to get everything, put you in the festiveness.
So I just got my Christmas coffee from Costa to get in the Christmas spirit, but it seems that not everyone is in the spirit at this time of year. In fact, a survey from Confused.com showed that 86% of people think this is too early to start putting up Christmas decorations. But there's only one main reason for the rise in Christmas decorations and spirit so early, and that's sales and money. The popular high street stores like Primark, New Look and H&M begin rolling out their winter lines by the end of October, in time to build enough hype before the Christmas period really begins. From this week, the beginning of November, popular shopping destinations such as Market Street here in Manchester see a huge rise in people doing their Christmas shopping. This is of course helped by the promise of bargains and sales in most stores, including half price or 25% off deals in the lead up to the big day. And who could forget the famous Christmas markets, also opening a week earlier than last year, this Friday on the 9th of November. As lights and decorations continue to go up around the city, there's no doubt that the Christmas spirit is well and truly alive in Manchester, even if it is almost 2 months too soon.
Now, sexual assault is a serious issue not to be taken lightly, and with the Me Too movement, it has recently become an important topic for discussion.
Yeah, very true. And here in the studio with us, we have Dan Finch and Olivia Davies to discuss whether or not patting someone on the bottom is also a form of sexual assault. Thank you for joining us, guys.
Thank you.
So what do you think?
So I personally would say that it is sexual assault. I think
Right.
this is quite a complicated topic to talk about,
Yeah.
which we're both very aware of.
Yeah.
But yeah, personally, in most cases, I would say that it is.
In what
sexual assault.
cases would you say it's not?
In what cases would I
sexual
say that it's
assault?
not? There's not a lot of cases.
What
It's
about
not.
friends? What about friends, like jokingly?
Well, even so, how do you we have to think about consent in this. And consent isn't based on what somebody told you 14 minutes ago. It's based on that moment there and then. And how do you know that that person is willing to be slapped? Yeah.
Okay, so like me personally with my friends, we're very touchy-feely. When you're speaking to each other, you're touching each other's arm. When you're having a laugh and you're speaking. And in work, there's a few times where, whether it's a woman or a man, where they've been in work in the kitchen, they're in a good mood, we're in a good mood, and just go, woo, a bit of fun. It's literally just a little bit of, it's physical contact that you have with your friends.
See, I would find that so uncomfortable.
Would you?
Yeah,
See, obviously, if I've got a friend that I know is not about touchy-feely, they don't like physical contact, you can get that vibe with friends. If all my friends though, we're all very touchy-feely. I know which friends I can do it to, and I know which friends I'm like, I don't think they'd appreciate that.
But circumstances could change at any point. I mean, if something had happened to them and they hadn't told you about it, which is completely fine for them not to tell you about it, then now they might not be as comfortable with it. But you don't know that. But you've gone to slap them on the bum.
I know. But I've had it once or twice where I've done it and they've gone, oh, Liv, not today, I'm not in the mood. And then you don't, right, that's fine. There's your consent where it's like, oh, it's not okay today. But then there's some days where you'll have a laugh and they'll do it back to you.
Would you not say that's too late though?
Yeah.
Once you've already slapped them, you've and they've gone, oh no, I'm also
I know,
okay
but then
with that.
some days they're okay with that. So it's that bound. Some days they're fine with it, some days it's not. On the day that they're not, you're like, right, that is fine. Today you've told me that, you've not. absolutely fine. I respect that
do
today,
you-
and
Me and
tomorrow
my-
they might have a different
Go on.
opinion.
So, yeah, what do you guys then think about, like, say, if it sort of happens in a nightclub or something like
Absolutely.
that?
I don't think it's consent.
No.
See, I agree with you
With
on that point. If you're in a
strangers.
night, yeah, a stranger.
Yeah.
No way would I accept it if I was in a club and some lad I've never seen before comes over,
Yeah.
Yeah.
smacks me on my bum.
Would you say something?
I
a
would
lot
say
as well
I
in
would say I'd be
nightclubs.
like, what are you doing?
I mean,
Why
I'd
did
be
you do that
so
for?
uncomfortable,
Yeah.
but I don't know if I would be confident enough to say something.
Oh,
Which is
see-
quite, it's probably quite bad. Of
I've
me
had
to,
friends for ages, and like I'll just be walking around the kitchen and they'll just do it.
And you're okay with that?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
okay
See, I'll
with-
even do it.
I'd be
I know it
I'd
sounds
be
weird.
weirded out
to
if
my
it
mum.
was.
Like my mum, as a laugh, me and mum dead close.
Okay.
Which is, she's like, it's not in a weird way. That's what I mean. It's not sexual assault. It's not in a weird. I'm not being
How would,
sexual with my mum doing that.
How would you
at
react
all.
if a stranger slapped you
Then
in
I'd,
a nightclub?
that's not
What would you
consent.
say to them?
That's
Would
that's,
you walk away or would you?
I
say
would
anything?
personally say something. I'd be like,
Yeah, it's
what are
probably
you doing
crossing
now?
a line.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
crossing my
Everyone does
line.
it differently, but I would well,
Like-
I've had it happen to me
Have
before.
you ever had any inappropriate times where you've just been like that, but you've not said anything and you've just walked away?
What, where somebody's done it to me?
Yeah, or anything
It's
similar.
happened quite a lot, especially not. I mean, it's a great place to go.
Yeah.
Village here in Manchester.
Yeah.
I think it happens a lot, and for some reason, in fact, I've talked to like my straight friends and stuff, and we all feel that actually, for some reason, in gay society, it's so much more acceptable, and I don't know why. Would you
Yeah.
fi-
I
would you
understand.
find
You got any
that-
thoughts on sort of
But
why
I've
that
had
would-
it where
I know-
I've been.
I know when I go to the club, I'll be like dancing with friends, and then I'll just get like a random hand on my hip, like walking past.
See, then
Do you
I'll-
not?
And
get that?
maybe as such, because if you're trying to get past someone, but when it's, when it's just trying to get past them, when
There's a
they
different-
grow, it's like
Yeah.
as such.
Yeah,
It's,
I mean,
it's
I
a
have to
feeling.
admit, I've had it before. Well, I'm just going crazy. I love a good dance. I'm going crazy. I've
Not the only
accidentally
one.
have, smacked somebody.
Yeah.
But I would absolutely stop them right there and apologise.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of people are doing it on purpose. And
Where do you guys think the line is drawn between like harmless playfulness, like slapping on the butt,
Friends.
and
Yeah, 'cause
See,
it
I
might be a
would-
bit
like,
blunt.
wouldn't even go
I wouldn't
friends.
go over and do it to you or
Yeah.
you.
I wouldn't even go friends.
'Cause-
I'd say like if you're in a relationship with somebody and you're very close to somebody, like even for me, I wouldn't like if I was very new to somebody.
it's a weird
I
thing,
still
isn't it? Just
wouldn't.
slapping
Well, it's
buns.
different. It's different for everybody. Obviously, everybody's had different sort of experiences.
Yeah.
So the way that everybody does react is different. But I feel like we need to establish as like a nation,
Society,
this,
yeah.
Yeah.
at this line that this is the point where it's okay and this is the point where it's not okay. But that is so difficult because even
See,
us,
because
like, have
that's
very
what I mean. It's different because I would say with friends, that's after friends, that's where you draw the line. So
Yeah, with
I wouldn't do it.
strangers,
To,
it's
the
a bit
strangers,
odd.
Yeah.
that's assault. You
Whereas I
you
would
won't go
say
up and
relationship.
tickle a stranger. You tickle your friends.
No.
That's
Do you?
Yeah, you tickle your
See,
friends.
again, I
as
wouldn't
a
tickle my
laugh. See,
friends.
see, so it's different. You know within your friendship
Yeah.
groups who's accepting and who's doesn't like. When I talk, I
Yeah.
touch
Right.
people.
Well, I definitely
Even
I
That's what I
touch people,
mean. But
like,
then
really
some people
do,
might
but-
not like that.
Yeah.
My-
So then
my
again, it's like
ex
where we
hated
cross the
tickling.
line.
But I
then.
think it's a little bit different touching somebody's shoulder to touching.
I know, but
an
I don't see
area
that as a
is-
sexual part either. That's to me.
Uh-huh.
If you touch, that's not. If
It's
you start
associated with not necessarily
I
sex
guess so.
as a whole, but it's associated with first of all,
contact.
privacy
Do you think-
and
Is it a-
contact, yeah.
Do you think if a stranger, like, or even someone off your course, just
Yeah,
just a
just, like,
sort
put
of
an arm
stranger,
around.
put like an arm around your
Oh,
waist,
I would
or
absolutely not be okay with that.
No.
it's the
Or
kind
you-
of thing that would you say something, or would you just like
You'd probably just be like,
distance yourself?
You
from
just
it?
it
get
depends,
up
'cause
and go somewhere.
I think for something like that, like when I have been like slapped or something like
Yeah.
that, that's such a shock to me, and it's such like a thing that I just want to get out of the situation. If it was somebody
yeah.
had stroked like an area or whatever,
Yeah.
I think that's not that maybe wouldn't be as big of a shock to me. So I'm actually probably more likely to say something because I don't want to quickly get out of that situation. I want to tell that person.
Because
like, what are
stroking
you
is
doing?
probably a lot more intimate, I would probably
That's what I was going to
yeah.
say. Smack is more out of fun and play.
Yeah.
Whereas if someone's stroking, that's a form of, that's took time for them to do. That's a bit more
Yeah.
intimate.
That's
So
a
I
bit-
take
yeah.
even,
It's a bit weird, isn't
I
it?
take
I think
more
yeah.
offence to that.
Unless you're like friends or in a relationship, I think it's weird that people will be like touching your hips or like. your butt.
Yeah, I think just touching anything. I've had it in clubs before
Yeah.
where not only the bum.
have
Let's
any
move away.
examples?
Yes,
Let's have a little
yeah.
move away from.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to go into too much examples.
Okay.
But where somebody who I'd met the first time that night actually went, to grab did grab my crotch.
Yeah.
And I said no, and they carried on and even
that is-
tried to get
that-
in.
Yeah.
Is unacceptable
Yeah.
completely.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah,
not
I
even,
agree
that's
with
not
that.
unquestionable, I don't think.
And then, but then people will blame it on, oh, well, they were drunk. I don't think
No.
alcohol is ever
excuse
No.
to
ever accept
exploit
it.
somebody.
You
in that
could
way.
be as
you know your
drunk as possible.
morals
Absolutely.
when you're drunk. Like, I know it's completely different, but I know if I leave my drink unattended, don't
You don't
drink
want
it. No matter how drunk
You
I
can't
am, I
trust
don't
anyone,
drink it. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's so true.
It's-
But you could even go to the extent of when you're on a night out and you say no to somebody. Like, well, yeah, same
Yeah.
situation. Yeah, I've had it so many times when a lad's come up to me, not doing anything like that, but speaking to me, and then they're asking, "Oh, trying to kiss you," and you're like,
Yeah.
"No."
I've had
And then
guys
they will
as well,
not
like, I told
stop.
them I'm not
Or-
interested, and they're just
And
like,
they're just
"Oh, you're
like-
ugly anyway."
Well, yeah, they'll either
It's
do this
weird.
thing where they'll
Okay.
carry on and like,
Until the point you just go
into-
scream in the face.
or they'll kick off at you and make you feel like
Like
this
you've done
Like you're
Yeah.
a bad person.
for not to,
Yeah,
for
or you
not-
reject
aware
me.
of
Why
that,
do you think
yeah.
I'm ugly? Do you and it's like,
Yeah.
why have you held
Or they'll
the
be like,
twisted
you've got
back
this
on
wrong
me?"
with you, you've got this, like.
Yeah, they'll just start insulting you just because you don't like
Yeah.
them that way. I've
No,
had it with.
100% happens all the time.
It's like,
Yeah.
well, you were the one that was trying to get with me, so I'm clearly the attractive one here.
But no, I think in society that needs to be ruled out. The whole, if somebody says no, that is
Means no.
a big no.
Is it okay if I can ask how you guys sort of feel about the Me Too movement? Because that was causing quite a stir recently, wasn't it?
So the Me Too movement was with, like, it started from Harvey Weinstein and that,
Yeah,
didn't it?
yeah, that was the one.
So to an extent, it's a hard one because you can't say they've not gone through it because they've not got proof, but I think the people that have been through it have got to accept the fact after so many years there is no proof
Yeah,
as such.
it's quite a common thing, though.
It is
in the
common, and
industry.
it might have probably most have happened to everybody that's saying it, but you've got to accept after a certain point there's no proof there to prove it. So
So-
somebody could have it out for somebody that's famous, and you know they've got it out for them, they want revenge for some whatever reason, and now they've seen, oh, it's so easy to put a blame on somebody like that. I'm just going to go after him for his
So
career.
do you
Yeah,
disagree with
it's
that?
easy to do it.
Do you not find that people that is a great, like when something like that comes out and then all these people come out, that's a great opportunity for people to be honest. And I know
Yeah,
that
no,
some
I know, I
people
understand.
some people do take the mick a bit and they will make up some
Stories,
rubbish
yeah.
Yeah.
about it. But I think, you know, it's a great opportunity. Let's think about years back when the whole Jimmy Savile thing came
Oh,
out.
that was a massive.
And all of a sudden, all these people
Everyone
started coming out.
came.
But all these people who were coming out were getting attacked as, oh, well, he's really only done it once. He's not done it all these times. He's possible. Well, he did do it all
Did
these
it way
times.
more.
He was in
Yeah.
a very accessible place for himself where he was with children all the time. And unfortunately,
There's still people
like,
that say that don't
even-
believe that, isn't it?
yeah.
Even if it sort of was only once, that in itself is not
Is enough,
acceptable
yeah.
at all.
No, exactly. Yeah. It's not about how many times you did
It's,
it.
if
about
it's, yeah,
if you
it's
did it or
happened
not.
once. It's,
Yeah.
it don't
Yeah,
matter.
there's
Yeah.
probably loads of people in the media who haven't been discovered as well.
Before we continue further with this, we would just like to say that all the opinions expressed in this debate do not reflect that of the show and are simply of the individual speaking.
You got that one across.
I've done my segment. We can carry on now.
But no.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it is a shame because I bet there's just no proof there to prove, which
You
is
were
a shame.
saying as well
It's
about
horrible.
the gay
fact.
community, how it's more like relevant. Or
Yeah, it
happens
seems
more.
to
I
it
wonder
seems
why
to happen
that
more.
is.
I don't. Well, there's always this thing that, and I don't know if it's necessarily true. I've never gone through court or anything like that. But a lot of people say that as a man, even a straight man, if you go to court and say, "So I have been like sexually assaulted" or anything like that, you are not
get
going to be
laughed
taken
at,
as seriously
yeah.
as somebody, as a
As a woman,
female, of straight, gay, bisexual, whatever, of any female that has gone to court for the exact same thing. The chances of a male going to court is so much less than a female going to court, and therefore, I think that all these people think, well, actually, it's so easy for me to go and do that, or they just haven't been educated enough, which could be the case.
Yeah.
But we all got educated. We've all well, sometimes you've had to educate yourself, but nevertheless, we've all been educated somewhat on consent, and yet I just think they think because nothing ever happens with
Do you
it.
think there's a way to like educate the younger generation or even
Yeah.
people about?
So we're more
It needs
aware.
to be put
Needs-
into schools.
needs
Yeah,
talking
and
about
I don't
this.
think in primary schools no, but as soon as you reach high school, it should definitely start to be considered into the education system. 100%.
Yeah.
I was never told I've learned consent through a social way,
I've never
through
told-
friends
been
speaking, through
told
social
either.
media. I've never been told in school if somebody says no, it means no.
See,
Because people might even think they're not doing anything
School's
wrong.
the worst place for
Yeah.
it as well
In
because
my
you're
Fair
not
enough.
extent.
Fair point,
mentally
yeah.
in my school, we actually did have talks about it
That's
in
nice,
general,
so that's good.
and we even had on a couple of occasions, because things do happen as students, we had big assemblies which were like hours long, with police there as well, and all these authorities giving you all this information about consent.
That's really good.
That's what we don't.
No, I don't think I ever.
No, we just had sex education.
Yeah,
That's a wheelie team.
But literally as in the physical way, not as in an emotional way.
Yeah,
we
like
weren't
a
taught
DVD,
any other part of
cartoon.
sexual education.
I'm quite interested to find out though, because this is quite weird. What year did you start sexual education?
Year 6, but we only touched on it, and then honestly, unless it was in year 10 science, for the biological part
Pretty
of
much
sex,
the same.
sex was never. It was like a taboo subject.
See,
Yeah,
just
it
would
doesn't-
not
so
speak in school
strange.
about it.
So in my school, we started at year 5, and I very much remember it because it was a very scary. it was at that age. I mean, I would have been 9.
Yeah.
Which is a
Do you
very
think
young
there's,
age
like,
to do it anyway.
a certain way we can get that message across?
What the to do with
For
consent?
consent.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I do. I think that.
I mean-
a lot of schools. So clearly, my school was
We have
out of
circle
different.
time. Why can't they just
What
discuss
city was
it
your
during
school
circle
in?
time?
Well, it was a place called Toaster.
Well, was it effective what they did at your school? Do you
it was
think?
very effective. In fact, I don't. Well, not that people would talk about it, but I don't think
Yeah.
I've ever known anybody to have had an issue back in my town. And then as soon as we've come out, like I know a lot of people that as soon as they've gone to university and they've gone to these big cities, all of a sudden it's an issue that maybe we didn't have to think about because we were educated.
You never experienced it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we never experienced it. But then you go to these cities where clearly, not to be offensive, but the education
It's the state
hasn't-
skills as
no, yeah,
well,
nobody's been
Do you think-
educated.
Yeah.
Our generation or the generation below are becoming more aware of sexual consent?
This-
or
This
We're
generation,
definitely becoming
100%.
more.
I think, yeah.
But I also think that I do think, and this is going to be really random, I do think that we're learning about actual sex a bit too young. And then we're not learning about consent.
Too young, you say?
That's what.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because I learned about, like I said, I learned
Year
about sex when I was in year 5 when I learned about sex. I was 9 years old.
Legally,
And I
shouldn't be having
didn't
sex for
learn-
another 7 years.
No, I
from
didn't
that,
learn
yeah.
about consent until I was probably 14 or 15. That's 5 years, 5 or 6 years. Well, I
It's quite
know
a
about
gap.
this thing called sex, and
That's it.
not
It's only,
about consent.
straight sex as well. which
And
is
it's
a bit-
only straight sex,
yeah.
which I understand at the time, but I didn't know about gay back then.
Yeah.
So I think, personally think that they shouldn't even teach sex until you're in secondary school anyway. But then I do think, but then they are bringing in, as far as I'm aware, homosexual sex into
Protection and all
it
that
as well.
stuff.
Yeah. Well, we learnt about protection as well.
Yeah.
See, I
But
never
we just
got
didn't learn about
Did
you
they
didn't
not
learn
You never
about
got
show
that?
you the condoms and stuff?
you didn't.
No.
What on the wooden, you know?
No, nothing.
On a
See, that's what I
banana.
mean, honestly.
Well, we
And
never got
we
anything
literally
like that,
taught
but-
biological penis, vagina, that's it, done.
See,
That's
it's
literally
it's very graphic
So much
at the age of 9. Very
No,
graphic.
no,
I
never
remember.
got any of
I
that.
remember.
Yeah, maybe a bit too
Weird
much for kids.
cartoon.
Yeah.
We had to look after a little egg for a week, pretend it was a baby, and not smash it.
We grew
Well, what-
butterflies.
What age is it
Bit
that
of
you
an egg.
think it should be for when people start learning about obviously sexual education and consent?
I personally think, I understand why you do it in year 7, but I personally don't think until year 8. Or what age are you in year 8? You're about 13.
30, I think 12. 12,
12
I
or
think.
13. It's necessary, but I don't think it's necessary at the age of 9 and 10 because
12
I
and
don't know
13,
anybody.
You've seen scenarios at 12 and 13 where people
But also, we
have gone ahead
find
and
now
done
that
it.
people are having their first sex at a much younger age. Is that to do with the fact that we're teaching people about sex at a much younger age?
That's a good question.
It's a curious thing to think
But
about.
Okay.
also, like, my mum, I mean, not all parents like this, but my mum always did teach me anyway. Like, just
She
You
taught
might see
me
my
when I
dad-
got to
Like that.
high school.
My dad didn't. Well, when I came out many years ago, my dad sort of sat, because obviously he doesn't really know about, you know,
Gay.
gay. He sort of sat down and went, here's a talk, use condoms. And I was like, great, I've already thought about that one. So he doesn't really understand that bit either, but yeah, I think he never really educated
I
me.
think it's
got
going
it
to
all from my
be
school.
easier for the generation that's growing up now to learn about it because I feel like we're more aware as a generation, so we're going to bring up our kids to be more aware of
Yeah.
what's going on.
just gonna
And
get
because
better.
we've gone through the whole Me Too campaign now
Yeah.
and the whole consent, we're going to bring that onto our, hopefully.
Fingers
So
crossed.
just
Well,
the
I
majority
definitely
of
will.
them.
I definitely will, yeah.
Whereas my parents, it was taboo subject.
It's definitely
It was-
taboo, and I don't think it is taboo anymore.
Not anymore, that's
I
what I
hang
mean.
out with
Now
my
it's-
friends.
I think it's acceptable now to speak about it as
not
much as
to
you
be
want.
It's
too
just a
graphic.
generational thing.
Yeah, not to be too graphic, but I'll, do something, and then I'll tell all my friends next day, and we'll just have a little gossip about it. I think that's such a good way to be.
Because then they know you're safe as well, because you'll tell them.
And they always ask the question, did you use a condom? And I always answer, yes.
So obviously, you think more people should be aware, probably right now, about obviously sex for gay people as well.
I can't believe that at our age, that people, one, don't know about sex. They know about sex, but they don't know about gay sex, and they don't know about consent at our age. I mean, we're adults now.
Yeah.
We're
You should be able to tell body
however.
language, you should be able to tell local language if somebody's saying.
Because some people aren't educated.
Some people don't have to say no to be saying no.
No,
Do you know what I
absolutely.
mean?
This is the thing.
You don't have to say no.
You will see so many
Yeah.
cases
You're
where
offish.
somebody goes, well, they didn't say no. And they
tell
go,
when
but were
someone
they
Were they saying yes?
Were they saying yes? Were they into it? And they're like, well, I don't know. They were turned over. I thought I turned them over, so they.
Sorry,
that
I'm afraid I'm going to have to cut the debate short, but we definitely covered some good topics, I think, in that. So thank you guys very much for coming in. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Right, now, with Christmas a little over a month away, there is something I think that all of us can look forward to, and that is great Christmas films.
Can't beat a good Christmas film, but of course, those aren't the only films coming out in time for the big day.
Exactly, and here to tell us about the biggest films to drop over the next couple of months is Bethan Edwards.
Thank you, guys. The first one we'll be looking at today is Mary Poppins Returns. It will be returning to cinemas this November after decades of not being on. People like Meryl Streep and Colin Firth and Dick Van Dyke will be in this film, and they will be starring from November. Mary Poppins, who is a magical nanny who turns normal tasks into the most unforgettable, fantastic experiences. You can tell from the trailer the magic will be returning to the cinemas this December.
We used to love flying that with Mother and Father.
Those days are long behind me.
To the cinemas. Starting from tomorrow, the 9th of November. The Grinch will be returning from the 9th of November. The Grinch, who is on a mission to try and steal Christmas with a sidekick dog, his name is Max, has a change of heart after meeting a young little girl. The lead voice in this film is Benedict Cumberbatch. From the trailer, we can tell it is going to be very funny and heartwarming, and for the whole family to watch. When I was younger, the original film of this was probably one of my favourite Christmas films, and I'd really recommend to go and see it. It's full of colour and fun, and I'd say all children can watch it. The next film we've got is Wreck-It Ralph. After 6 years after the first film, Wreck-It Ralph is now coming back to cinemas in 3D on the 21st of November. With the second film, Ralph Breaks the Internet. The trailer is full of action, fun and humour throughout the Disney animated film. This shows Ralph and his friend leave the comfort of their arcade after discovering a Wi-Fi router leading them on a new adventure. They end up in the world of the internet and rely on the citizens there to help them navigate their way around the world. I've never seen the first one, but I'd definitely say the next one would be worth the watch. The next film we've got, but we haven't got a trailer for it, unfortunately, is Fantastic Beasts. It is the new J.K. Rowling Wizarding World is returning to the cinemas in just 8 days to go on the 16th of November with Fantastic Beasts Crime of Grindelwald. Adi Raymond, who played the Newt in the previous film, is returning, as well as some new faces such as Golden Globe winner Johnny Depp, who is set to star as the villain Grindelwald. Personally, I've always loved the Harry Potter films, and I'm really excited to go and see the new Fantastic Beasts, especially with David Yates directing his 6th J.K. Rowling screenwrite, so I would personally recommend seeing this when it comes out.
Well, that was definitely some good films coming up. Beth, which one are you most excited to see?
Probably The Grinch, because I used to love watching it when I was younger. Every Christmas, it'd be a family event for everyone to watch it. And then I think because it's a new version of it, it'd be quite exciting to compare them both. But then Harry Potter's, like, I've grown up watching them all and also love watching them. So it'd be really interesting to watch the new one. It'd be really exciting as well. Have you guys got any opinions on any of the new ones?
I was just looking at the trailer. I can't see what she called the little girl in the original one. Is it Lynn?
I think she gets later on, but I can't think
I
who's
think I
starring
actually
in
have
it.
quite an unpopular opinion, sort of, on this matter. I'm actually not a big fan of the live-action Grinch
Are you
films.
not?
No, I just don't like it.
I really like it.
And the
See,
makeup
I really
looks really
like
weird
it.
too.
But I think this one looks a lot more colourful and a lot more children-friendly, and because it just, I think the characters, the way they're designed, is a lot more funner.
Yeah, they look really cool.
Yeah. Any of those films do you think you'd reckon you'd probably go see?
Oh, definitely just the Grinch.
It's the Grinch one, huh?
Yeah, maybe the new Harry Potter, but I've not seen the first Wreck-It Ralph, but it does look good, like the animation and stuff like that.
See, I missed the first one, so I think
It was
the
quite good, to be
second one
fair,
does look really good though, so I think I will probably go and watch this one. But then the new Mary Poppins, that's always a classic to go and see.
That just went over my head. Okay, I'm most excited for that one. Yeah, the old one is...
How long's that been? Like 1960s, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Is that one just looks really, really good.
Yeah, no, I think it definitely looks worth it. It's just so, like, brings back the childhood memories, and I think there'll be more older people going to watch it, especially because it came out when we were all younger, so definitely worth the watch.
It seems to be sort of keeping those classic elements, because I think I've seen the trailer and I think there's like sort of cartoon parts to it as well. Weren't those in the original?
Yes. So that was happened in the original as well. So they'd always go into like the amazing land which Mary Poppins would create and make.
That's
them.
right. Yeah.
So it definitely shows that in this trailer that they are showing the new and the going back to the old like animated ways as well.
I'm curious about one thing. Which one do you guys think will actually make the most money at the box office? You say Grinch? What you got?
I'd go Harry Potter, Fantastic Beasts, because J.K. Rowling's definitely one to put forward a really good one.
Probably a fair bet, yeah.
I'm definitely going watching Mary Poppins.
So, yeah, what do you guys think about all this? A lot of good movies coming out.
I love The Grinch.
I'm so excited. I literally love Christmas. You probably heard in last week's Halloween episode.
I'm going to the markets on Saturday.
Oh yeah, I'm so jealous. But I think the one that I'm most looking forward to is probably The Grinch.
100%.
I just literally love it.
Yeah.
It's so
I
good.
watch The Grinch every year.
There's another Christmas film coming up this year as well, isn't there?
I watched it when it wasn't even Christmas.
Is that one in
What's
more?
that?
They do another one?
Nativity 4, yeah, the fourth Nativity. And I love Nativity. Nativity is my favourite, like...
That's one where they all
like,
sing and stuff.
Yeah,
like
all the little school kids. It's so cute. It reminds me of being in school. That's
No.
coming out this year as well.
Oh,
I'm very
no.
excited.
I didn't know they're doing a
Somebody's
fourth
forcing
one.
me to take them. So
Yeah, but I think they keep getting worse.
Have you guys got any opinions on the package we saw earlier by putting up the Christmas decoration? I mean, I personally feel not in November. Not in November.
I think the moment Halloween is over,
yeah.
it is Christmas.
Also, you have to remember, we're students. We go home for like half of December. So you need to get your Christmas decorations up like in mid-November, so you can have a full month of them, right?
Yeah, no, 100%.
That's
yeah,
what I do. Anyway. That's how I feel.
Yeah, I keep them until New Year as well.
Yes. Sometimes
I keep them 12 days
I don't know.
Christmas afterwards, so 12th of January they come down.
I think I'll hold off my Christmas.
Sorry.
No, not the
12
days.
No.
The 6th of January is the 12th day.
Halloween has just ended, to be fair. It has just, we're only like in the first month of November.
Let me tell you, it got to midnight on Halloween, so the 1st of November.
Played Mariah Carey.
Those songs were on, I was
Just
like,
straight
shouting
into
in my room,
Christmas.
having a lovely time.
You got transitions like slowly
That was
and
my
gradually
that
into
was
that.
my transition.
Nice slow transition.
It's just wait till midnight. It's like, there we go, it's
No,
Christmas time.
The moment the moment you go to the Christmas markets is Christmas.
I think I went to the
Like
Christmas lights on Saturday.
Oh yeah, there's Christmas
Did you
lights
see
on
that? I
October
didn't get to
1st.
see it.
It was,
Oh, yeah, I
I'm
heard
not
that
going
was
to
on,
lie,
yeah.
there weren't that many. They turned the lights on and I was like, so they've got lights on 4 trees in this big square light thing, and I was like,
that was really good.
and the music
They
was
always have the
rubbish.
same Santa as well, the big.
It was a big Santa,
Santa,
yeah.
yeah.
The
always
fireworks were
same
great.
one.
Should we throw this maybe to Beth? But do you think it's definitely too early to put up the Christmas decorations? Should we be holding off just a little bit?
Oh, I definitely think so. It's still in November, it's only the start. I'd definitely say 1st of December, Christmas decorations, Christmas music.
So that's fair enough.
But there's the other day when Radio 1 played their first Christmas song, and I was like, it's a bit early.
It's a bit
but
late, wasn't
no,
it?
I know, a bit
definitely
late.
1st of December for me.
I went out in October and they were playing Christmas songs.
It just kind of seems like a thing of protest now, doesn't it, though, just to get into the full Christmas spirit in November, because everyone's telling you, it's just like, no, it has to be December, so you're just like, nope, I'm going to do it in November.
No, but
Well, no,
November, yes.
one year, this is so bad. One year I literally got excited in like July. Like my friend was kicking off. I got excited in July, but then when it is bad luck to do it in July, because when it came around to
July?
Christmas, when it came around to Christmas, I got tonsillitis, conjunctivitis, full-on flu. Like I was
At
just
least you
stuck in bed
celebrated
on
for the
Christmas
past
Day.
5 months
Yeah, but I've been
before it.
celebrating for 5 months, so it's all right. Do you know what I
Well,
mean?
like, if
I
you
did
are going
cry.
to put up your Christmas decorations now, is there any like advice you guys would have for students specifically, sort of putting up their Christmas
What, as
decorations?
in, like,
what they
what-
would do?
Get a cheap, reusable small tree.
Yeah, probably like where to shop.
Don't buy a
B&M
fresh one.
I mean, other shops are available, they're great, but B&M does really good, cheap lights, trees.
Advent calendars.
Yeah.
What's your opinion on advent calendars as adults? I still have one.
Yeah, I normally get...
Still get
I
one.
have to buy my own now.
I-
But I still have one.
I get like
for
2. I get like a really fancy one, like Lindt or something. Oh, the chocolate is available.
I thought you meant more like
And-
the perfume. You got all the ones with like Pandora
Other brands
charms
are
in now,
available,
haven't
of
you?
course.
One year I
Everything.
had Yankee Candle. That was the best one.
My
And then I
God.
always get like a rubbish one, because you always find like a few days after the 1st of December, they all get reduced. So then I'm always like, I'll just get like 1 or 2 more.
And what we did last year is we actually bought some presents to open on Christmas Day, and then we waited till the sales to buy all the other Christmas presents that we wanted.
Wait, so you waited
So
till
it's
after
say-
Christmas?
So we got the main presents for Christmas Day, and then everything else that we knew, like me and my mum, that we wanted, we just waited till the day after, and then we got each other's like Boxing Day presents.
I'd cry.
Saves a lot of money.
How do you do
Yeah.
presents on Christmas actually? Because
So I got to France for Christmas, and we put these shoes, and your shoes underneath the tree, and they put your presents in front of your shoes.
That's a bit...
It's really cute.
We should probably, I
Yeah.
suppose, we should probably just bring it back to sort of student accommodation.
Yeah.
Just, I think, well, did we really think about how students could do up their sort of
We're doing
like?
Secret
Should you actually
Santa.
put it up in student accommodation? Actually,
Yeah.
Yes, you absolutely should.
Yeah,
you don't want to make it
100%.
depressing. Like, that's your home.
Yeah.
So,
It's your home. You might not be there for actual Christmas Day, but it's your
Yeah.
home for the rest of the
Yeah, well, hold on.
360 days.
Bethan, what do you think about that? Should we actually be putting up like Christmas decorations sort of in student accommodation, or just wait till you got like your own house?
No, I think we should, because we're here until the 14th of December, I think. So I'd definitely say maybe get some like fairy lights, make it a bit more Christmassy, and then some like tinsel. And you can get those like sticky things that you can put in, like your sticky Santas on the window and snowflakes. So you can make it all a bit nice for December. And then obviously when you go home, maybe take them down. But you could definitely do it on a budget, because there's like obviously B&M, Home Bargains, like all those sort of places you can get cheap things from. And even like a mini Christmas tree, like a fake one, it still just makes you feel a bit more in the season, I guess, which, I don't know, will make you feel more Christmassy at the time.
Would you say it also kind of makes it feel more like it really is a home away from home, sort of putting up your Christmas decorations in a student accommodation?
Yeah, I would say yes, it would, because you'd feel like more that you're getting ready to go home, and that you're getting ready to like see Santa come with the presents, and just get into the holiday festive season with like even your flatmates. You can make like a roast dinner to make you feel a bit more like, oh, it's like Christmas Day. But yeah, you can do it on a budget.
Are you doing anything with your flatmates for Christmas? Like, have you, any of you?
Do you get each other like presents or anything like
I
that?
stay at home, so
Do you?
yeah,
Oh, you
I'm
live
at
at home?
Yeah,
Oh.
I live at home, so I'm out
well,
as well.
this is my first year with... Well, I did university last year, but a different university, not as good as this one.
No.
So last year, I'm paid to do that. No, I ended up having like a little Christmas dinner, and then we all brought each other's presents. But we've already discussed it in my flat this year, and we're going to do a little secret Santa, because there's 8 flatmates, so I'm not buying everyone presents. And we're going to have a little Christmas dinner again, which is really cute. But we haven't decided when yet. We need to like work it all out.
So how do you like manage all that in a budget? You know, like even the Christmas dinner for like what, eight flatmates?
Well, I feel like, I haven't worked. I haven't figured that out yet.
Put £1 away every week from November the 1st.
Well, I don't think I think
Chicken is like £5.
Well, I have a very simple. Yeah, we had to do chicken last year because turkey is so expensive. But I have a very simple Christmas dinner. Mine is roast potatoes, Yorkshire puddings, and turkey/chicken when you're a student. So for me, it's cheap. But for everyone else, they want all the vegetables. You can pay for the vegetables.
Yeah.
I'll get the stuff in.
I think we're working on getting. I think we're working on getting James's package from earlier, sort of on the screen. But so yeah, let's just bring it back to. Oh, there we go. So yeah, we had him on there.
Oh, bless
Had
him.
him for a second.
I can't remember what I was going to say.
It doesn't matter, but yeah.
Oh, look,
Oh,
look
there
how
we
cute
go.
it looks.
Oh.
Do you know what? I always, every single year.
See, does that not just make you want to celebrate Christmas?
Yeah.
Have any of you been to the Christmas markets yet?
No,
They
well,
don't
they
open
open
on Saturday.
Oh, I thought
is
they
it
open tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Oh,
The
we
night.
better make it tomorrow, yeah.
But
I really want to.
I normally go to. I'm really sad this year because I normally go to John Lewis every single year.
Oh.
You go
to
for the Christmas presents, do you? Or
no,
just,
no, to look at the.
or just to look at
decorations.
everything.
Look, their decorations are the best, and you always go in and down. Well, I don't know what the one looks like here in Manchester, but the one back at home and back where I used to live at university had like these big lights that went all the way down. And actually, interesting fact for you: if you go and stand right underneath them and look right up, they're actually in the shape of an angel. But people don't know that because they're.
Just like
Well, I don't know if I
passing
had the
by.
same ones this year, but yeah, they're
Well,
the
you
shape
go-
of an angel.
You heard it first, folks.
If you look up at
Interesting
John
fact.
Lewis.
Yeah.
But like, in terms of getting presents for obviously your families back home, how would you do that in a budget? Like, I usually just ask my family what they want and just like, I'll get it no matter what. But
Well, I feel like
I only get it for my close family.
Yeah,
So it's
no,
literally
that's
mum,
yeah.
me.
dad,
Yeah.
nana.
see, mine's just my dad and my
Stepmom.
sister.
Yeah.
So like, but I used to treat them a lot, like when I was not a student. So like
I think they understand that you've not got as much money.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to. A present is a present. It's the thought, as always. It's
But
the
my
thought
sister
that
makes
counts.
yeah, so I'll just think about it.
Yeah.
My sister would be like, well, no, last year my sister was like, so how much are we spending on each other? And I was like,
Tenner?
yeah, like £10, £20. She was like, well, I've already spent £60 on you. And I was like, well, that's your problem.
No, I
do you
think they
ca-
consider that you're a student.
Yeah.
So it's not.
Is there anything you want this year specifically?
A Tesco
What about
like
you?
gift card.
yeah, how do you
£50 at Tesco.
how do you manage sort of presents for family on a budget?
I normally buy them quite early on, so then I'm quite prepared for the holidays, so I can wrap them up, especially now being at uni, so I can slowly take them home. When I go home at a weekend, I can take one at a time home, but I only ever get like main family, like mum, dad, nan, my brother, and sometimes like my best friends, but mainly go for like quite basic things like jewellery or like perfume, something that I know they'll like, so it's always quite easy then. Yeah.
Like, I don't know, does anybody here feel like when they sort of, I don't know, maybe work out themselves if they're not told like how much their family sort of collectively has spent on them, just think, I have to match that.
No.
I can't have the, no?
I don't
You
put.
do.
You what? So if you.
Like, if they're like, so if, like I said, because my sister's like, I spent this much, I need to match that.
No.
I can't. I'm
If I
too poor.
can't. Obviously, if I can. No. See.
You're like, I don't know.
I don't know. I'd love to spend that much, but if they spend a ridiculous amount, they've got to understand it. I've not got as much money as them
That's
to
fair
spend
enough,
that
yeah.
back.
Because they're working and
Yeah, I'm a student.
I'm not.
No, I think I always set the limit. I always say how much we're spending on each other, and we can agree
Okay.
on a reasonable price. So none of us are spending a ridiculous amount. We both respect each other's price. I don't celebrate for Christmas for the presents though, so to me it's not the
No,
biggest thing.
I prefer, but the reason that I like to spend so much is because I love giving more than
Yeah.
I don't care if I get any
So,
presents, but I just
do you have
love
any
giving
Christmas
stuff.
traditions like Christmas Eve? Because my family, we always watch Polar Express the night before.
Polar Express, yeah, that's my Christmas Eve film.
Yeah.
I go to the pub, get really drunk, come back, try and watch Polar Express, but I'll fall asleep halfway through. So then when I wake up on Christmas morning, I'll watch
Santa's
it.
bin.
and then
We
go
don't
downstairs.
condone this, by the way, I should probably say.
What, get drunk? Oh.
Last Christmas, my mum was like, "Do we have to watch Polar Express
Yes.
again?" And I was like, "Yes, I don't care how many times we've seen it.
We
We're
also,
watching it."
we also open a present on Christmas Eve.
Oh, you
Yeah,
always
one.
have
Oh,
a
you've
glass
got
of
the
champagne
the
in the
one.
morning.
What, on Christmas Day?
Well, Prosecco, Bucks Fizz
Bucks Fit. Oh yeah, okay,
in
yeah,
the
later
morning.
off, yeah.
That's it.
That's delicious.
That's what you have.
It's always good.
Right. Well, I think we'll probably have to. Oh no, sorry. I think I'm just speaking out of turn here. No, my apologies. It's fine. No, it's-
Do you have any Christmas traditions?
do I have any Christmas traditions? Yes, I take all the presents and run. No, I'm kidding.
Me?
I take them and I
He's a
spend the time.
fake
We did used to have a Christmas tradition, which we don't really do anymore, I don't think. We would usually spend Christmas Day at one set of grandparents' house and then spend Boxing Day at the other set. But I think, at least in the past couple of years, we've done it more so that we have one set come to us throughout one part of the Christmas Day itself, and then like an evening or something, we'll go over to the other half. But I think that's sort of really about it for we just
That's pretty normal as well.
Yeah, we just do the normal stuff. It's just dinner on, that kind of thing.
Who cooks it in your house?
I like a small Christmas.
I think it's my mum usually.
I have a very. I go to France for Christmas, and we have snails and oysters on Christmas Day.
Snails and oysters.
What with your turkey or?
No, we don't have the turkey. You normally have lamb.
Oh.
We normally have lamb.
We go
So you have your
M&S.
snails, your lambs, your oysters.
Always good at Christmas. M&S.
M&S.
Yeah.
Oh, the shops are available.
Get your microwave.
Well, no, the thing I always look forward to on a Christmas morning is when I get my my Terry's chocolate orange.
Oh, yeah.
I get
I've
a
not
Terry's
wanted
chocolate
any
orange, like a 6-pack of Coke, and sort of like tub of Pringles, and I'm like, right, that's me. See you guys
flavour
later.
Pringles, though?
Huh?
What
Yeah,
flavour
good.
Pringles?
I think it varies each year. I think
Oh.
last year it was the sour cream.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, I like Texas barbecue.
I've sort of moved off Texas barbecue. I used to love it, and now I'm like sour cream all the way.
Ooh.
I think,
switch.
yeah, there's so many good things about Christmas, especially all the snacks.
That's why we start celebrating it in November.
presents and, like, little
Well,
cookies and
yeah,
cheese.
so I'm
Okay,
sorry, I'm
back
going to
to
have
winter.
to, I think I'm going to have to cut you guys off here, unfortunately. I think that's all we have time for in the show, but thank you guys very much for coming in. Thank you, Bethan, for coming in and sharing those film trailers with us.
Thank you.
So, yeah.
And before we say goodbye, did anybody see the end of Quays news yesterday? Nobody saw it.
Yeah, I think I
Well.
managed to catch. I think I managed to catch what was on that time. I think it was some.
I didn't. What happened?
I think it was
What?
something to do with our very own Joe, but I can't quite recall sort of what it was. Joe, do you want to come on and specify
Yeah,
for us?
what
Come on, come here.
happened Just before we leave.
Don't be embarrassed.
So basically, we were doing Quays News yesterday, and we had someone on sound, and then we went and we sort of finished the show. But it went to the titles, and my microphone, well, all of our microphones were still up. We were a little bit annoyed because we ran over and we really wanted to say goodbye, and we'd already gone over. So I thought, well, we're already 40 seconds over. Like, what is?
I thought you were about to say what you actually said.
Oh no! So thank God they turned me off when I did, because it almost went horribly wrong. I don't think I've been allowed on screen again. So
I think
we got it?
I think we've got video footage of that.
Oh, no.
Roll the video footage for that, or?
What was that? We're
That's
still
not a full
waiting.
thing. It's like you.
yeah, that's me. It's me and my high-pitched voice.
What? Yeah.
Love that.
Oh, no, that was good.
I'm gonna send you like Snapchats all the time
The
now.
joys of live TV, guys. The joys of live TV.
You're going to find that behind me.
Also live as well. So
let's not say that.
No. It was very close though, because I almost said something that I really shouldn't have. So whoever, like, thank you to the sound guy.
Cut it.
but also not thank you at the same time for letting it happen. But yeah, no, it was good. It was good. You two have done really well today as well. So
Yeah,
let's say
well.
thank you to these guys. Good job. Well done.
Well
done. And to Bethan as well. Bethan over there. I know the camera's just spun round and we can't really get a shot of Bethan
Gotta love
anymore,
all the people
but
on the
she's over there
cameras.
doing our film reviews.
With sparkly
Just
shoulders.
anybody involved, yeah.
Yeah, what time are we at? So we've got
I think
we've
we're
got
pretty
30
much
seconds
done.
left,
Yeah.
and we need to come up with something to say.
I could just talk.
What
I
are
could
they
just
saying?
talk
What are they saying
gibberish.
to
for
us?
this. We'll just end it here. So.
All right, presenters say goodbye. Go on.
All right.
Let's wrap this up.
Bye.
Thank you for watching.
Oh, shall we wave? Let's wave. Bye.
Bye, Mum.